Jalen Hurts is benefiting from pretty privilege. Because
God.
on that the press conference after the game, and he acted like he was Josh Allen. Look at this man with his cane gold, looking like Nino Brown.
New Jack City, baby. I'm my brother's keeper. Yes, I am.
We're all with $3,000 million trillion worth of diamonds on his neck, and he acted like he just went for 400 yards for 3 weeks in a row. Man, you had.
Oh man, Domonique, look. I got
you go first. You got it.
Hey, and everybody, well, for new people, I am the resident Eagles fan over here, okay? And we weren't even gonna talk about this, but I saw this trending and I'm like, man, would a Domonique go viral with Jalen Hurts? Because if he's talking about football and Domonique, I mean, I think Domonique can be okay, but sometimes he can say some wild stuff, and this is one of those segments where he says some wild things. And they had that queued up, so he told them beforehand that he was going to say, Jalen Hurts is benefiting from pretty privilege. That has nothing to do with his game, nothing one bit at all. Now, where Jalen Hurts messed up at, I'm sorry, not Jalen Hurts, but Domonique Foxworth, where he messed up at was adding some modifier to Jalen Hurts' play. I agree with him. Jalen Hurts, for the Eagles fans, the one thing that's been troubling for the Eagles is that when Jalen Hurts ain't passing, that's just terrible, because they go into the playoffs. If he goes into the playoffs cold, and I know he just had he had a pretty good game against, I don't think it was Baltimore, but I know he just had a really good game. But this is the thing. If Jalen Hurts ain't slinging the ball down the field, that spells disaster, because we all know Saquon Barkley is injury prone. So you got to take that pressure off. Look, I like it that Jalen or Saquon can go for 100, 200 yards or whatever. Nope, you don't need him for that, because you need him to be effective, and you need to limit him as well too, because Saquon needs to last for the whole season and into the playoffs. They're going to need Saquon. I don't know who the damn next running back on the Eagles squad that's going to be able to step up, though. But it's Saquon. If he gets injured, this thing is kaput, because you got Devontae Smith and you got A.J. Brown. There should be no reason. Let me ask you this question, because it's going to feed into this next thing. How many games do you think Jalen Hurts has had where he threw under 200 yards in passing?
You're the resident Eagles fan, so I'm sure you have that answer, but I am unsure.
Just give me a number.
So the question was, how many games do I think he's thrown less than 200?
Yeah.
And they played how many games so far?
15.
I'll say 7, 8. No, it's 8.
8. Now you're close. 6. He's had 6 games where he has had less than 200 passing yards. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough for me. So Domonique was right to call out how everyone's forgotten his terrible games, but he didn't have to say the whole pretty privilege, and that's a little sus in my opinion anyways. I got another video to kind of we can figure out what's going on with Domonique Foxworth, but you can't be saying pretty privilege in this situation. To say the dude, the media has revisionist history, and they are liking the Eagle just because it's the most popular thing right now. But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts has not been throwing over. He's had too many games where he threw under 200 yards, and going into the playoffs, that's not going to work. I've seen Jalen Hurts when he does this stuff. Most people, only Eagles fans know this. Go ask another Eagles fan out there what their concern is with Jalen Hurts. They're going to tell you. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, you don't have to worry about it. No. This is what happens with Jalen Hurts. If he ain't hot going into the playoffs, then the dude's going to get knocked out early.
I like that you kept this about sports for the most part. You being an Eagles fan, that makes sense. But a couple things here. I'll start by saying something kind. Domonique Foxworth, when it comes to his analysis on football, he's very knowledgeable. I mean, obviously, he played in the NFL. He was a corner or safety. I forget which one.
Yeah, and I liked him on Bomani Jones's show, too.
Yeah, he always contributes to Bo's show. He used to be on a lot of shows on ESPN. He still is. Yeah. But one thing I noticed about him is he likes to use those terms, toxic masculinity, and hyper machismo. He talks about the locker room and how macho it is and how it's too masculine.
Yeah.
I've heard him say that on multiple occasions. And I'll counter that by saying there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Every example you can give me is more than likely it's non-masculinity, not toxic masculinity. It either is there or it's not. And it's a good thing if it is and it's executed properly. That's number one. Number two, TR, have you ever called a man pretty?
Man. Do I even have a sound for this? No, I don't.
I just looked up the word in the
Hell
dictionary. I just looked up the word in the dictionary, and the very first word that pops up when you look up pretty is attractive, which means you have an attraction to this person. So I say all that to say Domonique Foxworth, it's 2024, bro. Nobody cares if you think Jalen Hurts is attractive. Like, if that's the way you want to swing, not my cup of tea, but do you, man? I think you're married with kids, but you sitting here calling men pretty. Nah, bro, that ain't the move. You ain't gonna never hear me call another man pretty. However, you know what? I'll save it for this video.
Okay.
Now, yeah, I'll come back to that after this.
Hey, and Domonique Foxworth has his own show as well too, which I didn't know about though. But I don't know if it's still going or not. But
I don't care if anyone else in the world thinks I look nice. My daughters, they're so sweet.
Wow.
They tell me like, you look nice. I mean, I want to think I look nice. If Jalen Hurts happened to see
There
me,
we
and he
go.
thought I looked nice,
I was wondering.
oh
We should put a
God.
clock on how long it
I would be so
takes to you.
excited. Like, because I'd be like, look at him thinking an old woman looks nice. You know what's interesting about Jalen Hurts? Okay, obviously, I'm not saying he looks old, like in a bad way, but he looks mature. He does. I don't care if anyone else in the world.
that's his wife saying that. That's his Domonique Foxworth's wife. Now, she was a little too happy talking about Jalen Hurts in that conversation. Way too happy. Like, they're. I feel like they've had this conversation in that household. I'm not going to speculate, but it sounds like that conversation has come up a couple times because it sounded like he had to hold it in. It sounded like he's. I wish I had the Stewie when he was crying in the bed, because that is definitely Domonique after that conversation.
I'm pretty sure most, if not all, Black women want Jalen Hurts to some capacity.
This guy.
I mean, think about how he markets himself. His agent is Black. He's always talked about that and how she helped him secure the bag. His manager is Black. His whole team is all Black women. These are all Black women, by the way.
Yeah.
So his whole entire staff is just Black women. That's it. And they see that, and they see how he's always hyping them up, giving them compliments. And of course, Black women is going to rock with Jalen Hurts. I do want to go back to, so colorism is a conversation in the Black community. It's usually amongst women, but I'll occasionally hear it come up with men. I don't know how valid it is when you're talking about men, though, because what I've noticed is the men who get the most play are the ones who have resources and stand on masculinity and confidence. Maybe when we were younger, but it seems to me like Domonique might be fantasizing a little bit. Maybe him and his wife is trying to, you know what, I ain't even about to go there. I was about to say something real wild, real wild, but no, bro, you ain't gonna hear me call another man pretty. But do you, man? It's 2024. Nobody cares.
And so when you do stuff like this is what they do. They look for this video because this was trending when he made that comment. And it's like, why are you saying stuff like this? Why are you saying pretty privilege? Here's the thing too. He is talking about another Black man and trying to, find some way to, I know he's trying to be critical, but he went the route of saying pretty privilege. I ain't never heard anyone say that about another Black man. No, really, no man in general, and a Black man. Like, and Jalen Hurts, I mean, brown skin, light skin. I mean, I guess some people are gonna, have a different conversation there. But at the end of the day, though, you can't be calling Black men pretty. You can't be calling men pretty in general. And then for Jalen Hurts, I don't think any of the white comment or whoever's up there, I don't think they would have even mentioned Jalen Hurts like going pretty privileged, because if Domonique said it, this went a little viral. I can only imagine if they said it. And so, there might be some animosity there, honestly. And you calling somebody with pretty privilege, but he used it way too loosely in this situation, though. And it kind of exposed him and his wife, though, because I'm not saying Jalen, I mean, Domonique, if he has any issues with them like directly, but it seemed like his wife is a really, really big fan of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that was interesting to see.
Yeah.
Look, better his marriage than mine.
Hey, you know the funny thing about that though, and we'll wrap up or we'll end with this though. You've got to, like, somebody that's married, you got to be looking like, man, I'm just a regular guy, and my marriage is like one of the best marriages out there. And some of these guys, they be having their girlfriends or their wives just embarrass them in 4K, like on a weekly or every day, every month.
When I talk to women, the number one thing I tell them is, when you're dealing with men, we value respect more than we do love. I mean, obviously we want you to love us, but start with respect. Start there and then build out to everything else. We don't interpret love the same way you do. We want respect, cheeks, cook us something to eat. I think, as Kevin Samuels used to say, what did he say? He used to say the FBI and the CIA. Which one was the one for women? I think it was FBI.
FBI, yeah.
Feminine, beautiful, and inspiring. Look at stuff like that. I think CIA was for the fellas, but yeah.
Well, that wraps up the episode. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.